All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Kareless Thoughts. I'm your host, Katrina Eve, and in today's episode, we're talking all about newbie estheticians, what to do after graduating, the career options, and the real advice you need to move with confidence. This is so nostalgic for me because at the time I wish that everything we're about to talk about, I had this guidance. So, if you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm your go to esthetician for skin, lashes, and brows. I share real educational content to help beginner estheticians go from school to solo with confidence. So, subscribe to my social platforms so you don't miss what's coming next. All right, guys, let's begin. So, the question is you completed your esthetician program and you're getting ready to graduate. Now what? You have two paths, and they are honestly, these two main paths are like the easiest thing. Either you want to work for yourself as a solo esthetician, or you want to work for other companies to advance your career. So, obviously, we're gonna work for other companies to advance in our career. So, if you want to start, the first thing, which is the best advice that I can give you, is to start with your school career advisor. And you want to do this 30 days prior to graduation so you have time to apply for interviews and find the right environment for you. At the beginning, it can be very confusing, so you have to choose whether a salon or a medical setting or working alongside with other professional is the right fit for you, which is why I recommend to do this 30 days prior. When I graduated, I didn't fully understand what working for a medical provider meant, but I took the chance, I made the initiative, I leaned to learning, and I pushed myself. That decision eventually led me to become a lead esthetician. So the fear of not knowing and putting myself out there to know was beneficial for me. One of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you for your first job is to stay focused on gaining as much hands on experience with real clients as possible. I just want to say that there's a huge difference between taking clients in school and taking clients in the real world. In school, you have built in support. Your instructors are there to guide you, step in when needed, and help you through mistakes. Your schedule is flexible. You're not being judged on speed, retail, or client retention. And most of your school clients are also very understanding. They know you're still in like training mode. So they're more patient and more forgiving. Rather than in the real world, the expectations change. You were brought on for professionalism and you're being paid for your skills and license qualification. Your employers trust that you have training, expertise to do the job responsibly from day one. You are now responsible for delivering consistent results, managing your time and staying on schedule, creating a professional client experience, communicating confidently, and taking ownership of your own career growth. These are big moves that you are creating on your own. In your first job, there is no instructor stepping in mid service, and most clients expect you to perform like a professional from day one. That's why your first job is not about perfection. It's about learning how to work under real pressure while still improving your skills. The real world is where your career actually begins. School gives you the foundation, but your first job is where you build the structure. So, if you were to take this advice, you will be a successful esthetician while you're growing in your career path. The real world is where your career actually begins. School gives you the foundation, but your first job is where you build the structure. Another advice and topic that I'm going to get into is that every skincare job you apply for will have a similar approach when it comes to retail and sale goals. So, typically during a facial, the back bar products are the ones you'll present to the clients as recommendation when it's time to sell after you perform their services. So, during the facial, you want to pay attention to what the client reacts to, what they smell, what they feel, or show interest in. These signals will guide you to educate them and confidently suggest their top 3 to 4 products to support their skin routine after the facial. I remember when I was in my first job recommending products, the first thing I would ask is, how dedicated are you about your skincare routine? Depending on their answers, I would suggest the top must haves. They need to be educated, and you need to explain each function of product that you recommend. For instance, when I would recommend, or a client would say, I can't afford the full line, what are the top recommendations? I would suggest 4 products: a cleanser, an exfoliator, a moisturizer, and an SPF. Why? Because without your cleanser and exfoliator, none of your products after will penetrate properly. You have to remove debris, dead skin cells, because you're an esthetician. But the point is that you have to keep them in the mindset of being organized in their routine. If not, they're going to use whatever's out there in the trend. They're going to be careless about their skincare. And one thing is, focus on the question that I ask. How dedicated are you about your skincare routine? This may mean pricing, or if they say, I don't really use anything, or I use drugstore products, or I spend $1,000, I spend $50. Those answers are truly the ones that are going to help you determine of how much or what type of clients they are, if they're going to return, if they're not going to return, so you know when to waste your time, when not to waste your time. And these little tips are going to help you in your path when determining products. And another thing, spas or salon settings do not have antipollutants, they just have the SPF. So I try to give my clients an extra source of education when it comes to antipollutant and how important it can be for their daily lifestyle, for their skin stressors. And I just use this to help them and guide them to kind of open their mind, to say she knows what she's talking about. She is well educated. Her skin is amazing. And that's one thing I'm going to say. You are your biggest advertisement. There should be no reason why you're an esthetician and your skin is out of place and out of whack. They are going to you for specific reasons. If you are an acne expert, they want to see your before and after of how you cured your skin. Why? Because they will trust you. They would feel that they can relate to you and say, she is going to help me, or he is going to help me with my skin concerns. Remember, they come to you for their problems, and you are the ones that would solve it. So you want to use this opportunity to educate your clients. And I know that sales and goals are not for everyone, but don't think of it as selling. Focus on suggesting what your client truly needs. So you definitely want to educate your clients when it comes to products. And I understand not everybody's in sales and it can sometimes be hard, but don't think about it as selling. Focus on suggesting what your client truly needs, and then you're going to forget about the selling part. And try to never push products on them. Sometimes you may need one product to fulfill your goal. Don't do that. It may be a product or suggestion that you may have offered, and they're going to lose trust. They're going to feel that you do not care enough. What you care about is sales. Okay, moving forward, that while you're in searching for your first job opportunity, I want to also say staying flexible is key. And what I mean by staying flexible is that when it comes to job opportunities, just be open to different environments, to different locations and service type. Sometimes stepping into something new or even relocating for the right opportunity can fast track your growth and increase your income. And what I mean by this is that over the years, as an esthetician, I never imagined I can expand my resume or my career path in lashes and brows. And once I truly decided to learn these services, I had to make adjustments from going full-time to part-time, and I had to dedicate my focus time to truly master my new services. Here's the key. Once you've mastered your craft, you can confidently take a new skill. If you haven't mastered your current skills or services, adding more will overwhelm you and set up for failure. I've been a victim of this where I'm like, I need to do it all and you're not going to do it. There's so much learning, there's so much practicing, and your mind, sometimes my mind is faster than my abilities. And I understand that, but you have to be realistic with yourself and you have to take your time. When I fully mastered my esthetician side and I decided to look into brows, I already knew with my eyes closed, I was able to do services, sell products, sell retail, whatever it was, I was able to do it. Once I mastered that, I was able to fully focus on my new career, which was going to be on brows. When you're looking into a new career, remember, you're starting off with new education, new clientele. It's a different type of clientele. So that's going to be a door opener. Whew, that was some great information, guys, right? So I hope the tips I've shared so far has been both insightful and exciting, and that they inspire you as you step into your first job opportunity. So continuing with speaking of opportunities, let's talk about the types of jobs you can apply for with your esthetician license. You want to start off with entry-level salon positions that offer mentorship program, which is a great way to learn on the job while getting guidance. They will include training, certifications, multiple techniques, not only saving you time but also money. We have Massage Envy, we have Hands and Stones, European Wax Center, Ulta Beauty, and Heyday. Not all Ulta Beauties have a spa or a room for estheticians, but you can try. But one thing I want to talk about is Heyday. Heyday is a specially great company for beginner estheticians. They offer a fast-paced environment. They would keep you fully booked and provide comprehensive training. I've heard nothing but great feedback from friends who have worked for Heyday, and they said that if you want to go to another Heyday, you're able to transfer upon the availability that they have. But Heyday is a great company. I actually wish that I started there, but I was already in the medical field, so it was a little difficult for me to kind of get out of that like medical mindset. Okay, not all estheticians decide to go straight to a salon setting or medical setting. They decide to do retail opportunities, which is another fantastic way to network and build your clientele, especially if you're interested in becoming a virtual esthetician offering virtual consultations. So, working with a specific brand allows you to grow your profile while gaining valuable experience. And if you want to start in retail, I would suggest Blue Mercury. Blue Mercury offers a wide selection of skincare opportunities that also connects you to being a virtual esthetician. The clients that you will reach in Blue Mercury are the ones that you are going to go, or they would want you to go to their homes and offer services for. And this is a great open door for this. You can also explore a role as an independent skincare analyst at Kiehl's, or you can choose a skincare product line that you feel comfortable with, and they're going to train you. They're going to basically show you skills of how to teach, how to explain products, make sales, and that will also be your open door to being a virtual esthetician. I know Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, all these department stores are also a good resource for finding positions with private companies and expanding your network. Barber Sturm, which is a great company. I love Barber Sturm since like 2018. They also work in Neiman Marcus and they train you. You're also making sales, you're building reputation, and there are a lot of high-end clients that shop for Barber Sturm. So that would be great extra income and an open door to become a virtual esthetician as well. All right. So I started working for a medical setting right after graduating esthetician school. So as a newbie esthetician, one of the great options is applying for a medical spa. And I'm going to talk about all the perks and everything that you need to know to enter the medical spa role after graduation. So the first thing is that you are the main performing advanced skincare treatments, but you are under the supervision of like nurses, nurse practitioners, or medical providers. And when you're taking this role, you get to do fun stuff that they would certify you for, and they will sign under the medical provider's license, which are peels, microderm, laser hair removal, microneedling. And not only that, but it offers great benefits when it comes to compensation. You are actually earning higher earnings because you're in the medical facility. You're also exposed to a lot of medical grade products and all the technology that they offer, like advanced techniques, they're going to train you, which is like super cool to know. Because you are in the medical setting and you are also specializing in clinical aesthetics, which is high demand, one thing I advise is to start networking early. The connections you make now can open doors later, especially if you decide to go solo in the future. You will meet lots of professionals in this environment, and who knows, maybe it will inspire you to be more than just an esthetician. So, when I was in that field, I wanted to do it all, I wanted to learn it all, and then there was just this fire that just rose for me to be a registered nurse, get into Botox and fillers. But because my true passion was just facials, I kind of remained in just being an esthetician and kind of mastering my abilities and techniques and education in the esthetician field. But speaking of networking, you can build connections while working at places like resorts, cruise ships, hotels, or wellness centers. And honestly, working in these environments not only expose you to a wide range of clients, but you also learn new treatments, techniques that you will never find in a traditional salon or medical spa. With all these options, it just shows how much value our esthetician license has. We really do have one of the best jobs out there. And if you worked in any of these jobs I just mentioned, I'd love for you to comment and share your experience. Your story could inspire anyone else's just starting out. All right, you guys, that wraps up this episode. I hope everything I've shared has clarified things, offered guidance, and giving you the courage to take your first steps as a confident esthetician. Remember one thing, and I every day remind myself of this: you're in the right place at the right time. And don't compare your day one to someone else's day 200. Own your path and embrace your moment as a true esthetician. Sometimes, due to life circumstances, we struggle with this, but if you remain focused, you be a sponge, and you listen to all the advices that I given you, you will be a successful esthetician. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.